let's take a look at what's going on in Virginia real quick.
Greatly concerned me.
I think there was a lot of learning loss over the past year and a half. We all saw with the kids at home and a lot of these options that you can get through the class with just a pass or a fail, and some of the measures that have sort of watered down the standards in not just in Virginia, many places. But Mara and Brooke, thank you very much.
Can I say one thing though about I don't think people necessarily truly understand what critical race theory is. Younger children are not being taught critical race theory. They can't understand critical race theory. They're being taught history. So when somebody here in Loudoun County, I understand, was upset that his second grade child was taught that Christopher Columbus killed many indigenous people, that's part of history. That is what Christopher Columbus did. So I have a hard time. I think kids have to learn history, the good, the bad, the ugly, so they can become critical.
I don't think anybody's against that. I think we have to do a fact check on the Christopher Columbus story as well. But
you're gonna do a fact check on whether Christopher Columbus murdered indigenous people?
The days of choreographing his funeral to the
what the? How are you gonna fact check? We're gonna do a fact check on whether slavery happened. Like, what the fuck, bro? He was so brutal. Even motherfuckers back home were like, "Dog, you gotta stop." Okay, what the fuck are you doing? Stop cutting their fucking ears and hands and shit, you psycho. Not to say that like those colonial powers were like kind or anything. They were fucking horrifying monsters too. But Christopher Columbus was so extra that they were like, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing? Stop. Okay, they're just enslave them, motherfucker. That's how we do it. What's wrong with you?
6 months Peepo has.
He literally was like, nah, I'm going to cut their hands off. There was like, stop cutting their hands off and making them wear as necklaces. He's like, no, I'm going to fucking keep doing that. Yeah, we're going to run a fact check on whether Christopher Columbus engaged in indigenous genocide.
Would let Wilnev punch my pouch.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They were probably like, don't cut the hands off, dumbass. We can't get them to fucking, work in the mines or some shit if they don't have a fucking hand. That was like their motivation for being like, dude, you are so insane that you're literally ruining the fucking labor, the free labor force that we have here. What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, he's like, stop cutting their limbs off. They can't fucking work if they're limbless.
I don't think anybody's against that. I think we have to do a fact check on the Christopher Columbus story as well. But, critical race theory, I think, sometimes is a little bit of a misnomer because what's happening is that there's a sort of a reformed thinking and approach to history that teaches that the country was founded in racism. You can say critical race theory is like a legal theory that is found more in colleges. So maybe giving it that label has thrown some people off. But it doesn't mean that there's not things being taught that are teaching kids that they're sort of inherently...
Dude, by the way, another thing that's really funny is like white identitarian politics, which is something that like anti-SJWs do regularly, which is like they fucking literally build an audience fucking talking about how much like black people are crying for no reason, blah, 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 blah. And then like these fucking neckbeards turn around and do the exact same thing where it's like white men are being murdered on the internet whenever someone says white men are doo-doo or they're trash. A white man kills himself immediately. Like, are there real fucking problems impacting men in general? Absolutely. White men as well. Okay. But like, they're doing the exact same shit from a place where there's like not as much significant like material reasoning. And most of those men, if not all of those men, are not harmed as a consequence of like being white, but they're harmed because they're fucking workers in a country where our primary function is just consumption and working in some fucking bullshit desk jockey job that literally does not need to exist, okay? Just a shit job that does not need to exist. Or if you're actually doing fucking like labor, it's oftentimes just working as a waiter serving the fucking small business owner tyrants that spit on your fucking face all goddamn day. The future looks bleak, okay, for everyone. But of course, no one needs to do materialist analysis. We need to fucking completely move away from that and focus on like individual identities and why they feel terrible and sad.
Been here in a while,
especially when we talk about white men. It's like, dude,
your streaming time.
They're not like white men are not being fucking attacked for being white.
Looking forward to watch you live again.
They're being attacked because they're a gigantic part of the fucking labor force in a country that does not have like any sort of industrialized production anymore. Okay, that's it. That's why they just feel like they've been left behind. In a way, this is no fucking different than the same shit that these anti-SJW essayists were fucking crying about. But at least when it comes to like black issues, there's a fucking real material reason behind it. Okay? There's like an actual reason why black people are fucking upset, because there are so many serious fucking racial wounds that have not healed. Anyway, but like this CRT conversation is so fucking dumb. It's like people literally just do not want kids, black and white, to not learn the accurate history, and like their criticisms of the CRT revolve around, my white kid thinks he's a villain now. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh no, my kid, his feelings are hurt. It's like, dude, first of all, you're a villain. Okay, you're a villain, but not because of like what your ancestors did. You're a fucking villain because you literally just choose to deny it and don't want to offer restitution. You're not a villain because you're automatically white, therefore a villain. You're a villain for being like, I literally not only want to hear what is going on, I don't want it to be educated. I don't want that to be fucking, I don't want that to be like the common core education, the real accurate reading of history. And on top of that, like, I will do everything in my power to fucking cry about it. That's why you're a goddamn villain, dude. If you're actively denying like racial subjugation, you're a bad person. Sorry. This is why Republicans will keep winning. Yeah, they'll only keep winning because they're very good at whipping up enough active dumbasses into a frenzy in their incredibly powerful manufactured outrage machine called fucking Fox News, all the way down to like the alternative media sources that they also dominate, like fucking YouTube and shit. They're able to create a conversation around something that has not changed. Okay? It's just so stupid. It's just so dumb. But the real reason why they win on top of that is not necessarily because like they're very good and this is like a really important issue that every American should be outraged by. Like, shut up, bitch. You really think it's bad? Like, you're in the wrong place if you think that like CRT is a bad thing, okay? Or whatever they consider to be CRT is a bad thing, because like that's what I do as well. I teach you the accurate history of the United States of America, like a colonizing force that enslaved millions of people, pillaged, burned to the ground, extracted natural resources from the third world and kept it down. That's like, you know, that's just the truth. And you hear it here all the fucking time. And the saddest thing is whenever there's like black kids in my audience, they're like, I didn't even fucking hear about this. Like there are black people in my fucking audience that don't know about like the move bombing, for example, in 1985 in Pennsylvania, or Oklahoma, like the Tulsa massacre. Okay. And that's because they also are educated in the American public school system that teaches an otherwise whitewashed and usually white supremacist fucking history of the United States. That's why. What was the first one you said? The move bombing, where an entire city block was fucking blown up by the Philadelphia Police Department near Drexel. They threw fucking C4 in a bag out of a helicopter and they let it burn to the ground. So yeah, like that's the reason, like we already have CRT, okay? We have critical racism theory being taught in schools. So if you go against that, and if you're like, we got to fucking like do an accurate assessment of what we're teaching our children, like why the fuck do we care about the slaver's perspective in the South in the war of northern aggression, i.e. the Civil War? Like what the fuck is this bullshit? Like why are black kids in the South learning that why are black kids in the South learning the unfortunate perspective of the slave owners? You know what I mean? Like that's fucking nuts, dude. Like, that's what you're learning. If you're a black kid growing up in the fucking South, in a southern state, okay, go to public school, and they're literally fucking teaching you, like, that this was really unfortunate for the slave owners because their capital was attacked. Like, just tweak that a little bit, please. Just you know, show that accurately as what that is. It's the abolition of slavery, dude. It's freeing slaves, okay? That wasn't like a property rights fight. At least in 2021, we have the advantage of hindsight to know that that wasn't just a property fucking fight, a property battle. Jesus Christ. As a black kid growing up in the American South, I always found it weird that we learned about the good things of African Americans in 1 month of the year, but spent forever learning about slavery and the founding fathers. And not even like accurately learning about slavery. Anyway, yes, slave owners did receive reparations, but the slaves did not. So that's another thing. But anyway, I went to like a million different fucking places with this conversation.
You know, victims,
but it's
or
very
oppressors.
frustrating.
I think we'll have
has thrown some people off, but it doesn't mean that there's not things being taught that are teaching kids that they're sort of inherently, you know, victims or oppressors.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree on that because
like inherently victims or oppressors. So what are you fucking teaching when you talk about, I don't know, antebellum South, like a fucking the plantation owner's daughter and her personal experiences having to like run away to Texas and leave some of those slaves behind? Oh no. Like what are you teaching then? What the fuck are you teaching the kids then in that situation? It's such a, if you want to fucking literally just like rob everything of its context and look at it like a fucking idiot and be like, there's like victims and then there's oppressors. Throughout history, that's a constant, motherfucker. You have oppressors and you have the oppressed. That's just a constant. Just like violence is a constant throughout history and throughout politics, okay? There's always an oppressive class and then there's always going to be those who are oppressed, okay? Welcome to dialectics. This is how it works. This is just simply how it works. So if you are saying teaching history accurately, okay, well, focusing on the master's point of view rather than the slave's point of view, then you're saying that, like, you know, that's your take. That's you are siding with the masters rather than the fucking slaves. That's where your morality lies. And anything that goes against that, anything that like accurately assesses the wrong things that the American government has done, that we are fucking so far removed from. Like you're not, I'm not saying like you personally are responsible for slavery. This is a fucking insane thing to make. It's an insane statement to make. But, you know, you're siding with the fucking slave owners in that situation.
I have different thoughts and feelings.
Okay,
on that.
I got to leave it there. Thank you so much, though. And this is exactly the debate that has been so